With Google's newest release of Nano Banana, everything about AI generation just changed. I've been testing it with Kling 2.1, and the results are on a whole different level, way smoother and more realistic than anything I've seen before. The problem is, if you don't set it up the right way, you'll still get stiff, unnatural animations that kill the whole effect. And so in this video, I'll walk you through exactly how to combine Nano Banana with Kling to get really realistic results, plus the secret tool that makes the entire workflow 10 times easier. The tool I'm using to access Nano Banana and Kling is called OpenArt, and I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to follow along. Now, OpenArt isn't the only way you can access these models, but I use it because OpenArt brings everything into one place. Instead of jumping between different websites or tools, I can quickly switch between models and keep the workflow moving without interruptions. Another reason is that the images come out watermark-free, because when you're using Google Gemini or Google Studio, you'll notice the AI adds a watermark to your photos. OpenArt removes that, giving you clean results you can actually use. When you first sign up for OpenArt, you'll land on a homepage that looks like this. To access the image generation workflow, look at the left-hand side and select Image. The moment you do that, a brand new workflow opens up. Now to switch over to Nano Banana, simply go to the left-hand side, click Switch Models, and select Nano Banana. Of course, you'll notice the prompting section here, but we'll come back to that later. Right now, we're going to focus on images, because while Nano Banana can generate solid results through normal text prompts, where it really shines is when you give it image references. For this first example, I'll keep it simple. I'm going to upload just a plain image of a cup. Alright, now that I've uploaded my image, the next step is to write a prompt. The good thing with Nano Banana is that unlike some other models like Flux, you don't need to overcomplicate it. You don't need to throw in things like cinematic lighting or dramatic shading, because this model just doesn't need that. For my prompt, I wrote, take the plain coffee mug and transform it into the same mug filled with glowing, bubbling molten lava. The surface should glow with intense orange-red light, casting a warm reflection on the mug. As you can see, it's just a simple explanation, nothing more than that. Nano Banana also doesn't have a big list of settings to tweak. You only really get output size, advanced upscaling, and the number of images. But the nice part about running this inside OpenArt is you don't have to dig through a ton of hidden menus like in some other tools. The controls are simple and right in front of you. For this run, I picked the classic 4x3 size, I turned on 2 times upscaling, and I set it to generate 4 images. I like going with a few variations because it lets me see which ones really hit the look I want. And unlike other tools where you have to wait for each image to finish generating before starting with the next, here you can generate multiple variations in one go, which saves a lot of time. The results came out looking really good. The lava looks surprisingly real, exactly as you'd want it. Some of the versions have a stronger glow, others a bit more subtle. I'm gonna pick this one here because to me it looks the most realistic. Now let's move on to turning this into a video using Kling. I just download the image I picked, and then on the left-hand side go into the video generator. From there, I select Kling version 2.1, which right now is the best option. And instead of having to log into Kling separately, OpenArt gives me direct access here without any extra setup. This is where OpenArt really saves you time and money. Normally, you'd need a separate Kling subscription that costs around $30 per month. Plus, you'd have to deal with their credit system and generation limits. With OpenArt, you get access to Kling's latest models without the hassle of managing multiple billing cycles or running out of credits at the worst possible moment. Quick tip here, some models let you use both a start frame and an end frame, and Kling is one of them. For this start frame, I'll upload the empty cup. For the end frame, I'll upload the lava cup we just made in Nano Banana. Since Kling locks onto these two frames, you don't need to be super detailed in your prompt, but I'll still add a simple one. Mine says, animate the mug filling up from the bottom, lava bubbling and glowing as it rises, add steam and heat distortions above the surface, and the camera makes a slow circular motion around the cup as it fills, giving it a dynamic 3D reveal. Because we're using a start and end frame, you can't use the master setting with Kling, but that's fine because there's not much difference between Pro and Master here. I set the duration to 5 seconds and then hit create. The final result looks very good. The animation of the lava flowing upward feels natural. It has a strong 3-dimensional look, and overall, it just looks really cool. Alright, now let's test this in a completely different context. I'm heading back to the image generator, clearing out the previous prompts and images, and this time I'm starting with an image of just a plain empty room. The idea here is to create an explosion effect where the video shows the room suddenly filling up with furniture. This kind of effect can even be used in commercials or other creative projects when you want to grab attention and make something feel dynamic. That's another reason I like OpenArt. It's flexible. I can use the same workflow for quick tests or for bigger creative projects without having to switch tools. So I've got the empty room image, and for the prompt, I'll keep it straightforward. I'll write, take the empty room and transform it into the same room fully filled with furniture, chairs, a table, a lamp, all perfectly arranged. Then I'll set the output size to widescreen, leave the number of images at 4, and click create to see what we get. The results came out looking really good. All the images look very real, with the furniture standing pretty casually, and I like this whole setting of the dining table in the middle. I think it will work out great in our final video. I'll take this image since it came out the cleanest, and then head over to the video tab just like before. For the start and end frames, I'll use the empty room as the starting point and the furnished room as the end point. The prompt is, animate as if a shockwave explosion happens in the center of the room, the furniture rapidly flies into place, fragments hang in the air for a moment, and the camera slowly pushes forward as the objects settle, emphasizing the transformation. Then I'll hit create and see what kind of results we get. As you can see, the results came out looking really cool. The explosion really comes out of nowhere, and you can see the furniture appearing in its own subtle ways. Some pieces kind of grow out of nothing, while others fall in from the burst and then form into actual furniture. What I really like is how the two chairs pull in toward the main dining table near the end of the video, which gives it this messy but creative and eye-catching look. Overall, I'd say this is a very strong result. Now for the final generation, I'm starting with an image of a vending machine on the street. What I want to create is the effect of it being attacked and swallowed up by giant tentacles. For the prompt, I'll write, take the vending machine and transform it into the same vending machine being attacked by massive octopus tentacles, some wrapping tightly around the machine, others bursting out from behind it, pulling it into a crushing grip, making the whole scene feel cinematic and surreal. And then I'll click create and see what happens. The images came out looking great. I'm gonna go with this version here because it really sells the idea of the machine being crushed by the octopus from behind. From here, I'll move into Kling just like before. I'll load in the empty vending machine as the starting frame and the crushed one as the end frame. For the prompt, I'll write, animate the octopus slowly emerging from behind the machine, its tentacles sliding forward one by one, twitching and flickering as they wrap tighter and tighter, while the camera tilts and zooms in to heighten the tension as the machine disappears into the creature's grip. This time I'll set the duration to 10 seconds so the whole effect can play out clearly, and then I'll hit create. Once the video is finished, the result looks very realistic. The way the tentacles crush and pull at the vending machine feels solid and believable, and the added camera movement gives it an extra sense of drama. Overall, the animation comes out looking really cool and delivers exactly the kind of surreal effect I was aiming for. So now you know exactly how to combine Nano Banana with Kling 2.1 to create those smooth, realistic AI videos we walked through today. And with OpenArt, the process doesn't just get easier, it's way more efficient. You save hours of setup, cut out the headaches of constantly switching between different tools, and instead of paying for 3 separate subscriptions and re-logging into all of them, you get access to the most popular AI video and image generators all inside one simple workflow that finally lets you work stress-free. If you were to get individual subscriptions for all the tools OpenArt gives you access to, you'd be looking at way over $200 per month. You're literally saving hundreds of dollars every month while getting better results faster. So if you're ready to start creating insanely cool AI videos, just like the ones we did today, use my link down in the description to sign up for OpenArt. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.